like the night, just letting it all hang out. She's a friend. How? I like ladies that, that's the fact. Ain't holding nothing back. How? She's a friend.
Haha. Hope we don't get muted for that. It's a special occasion. Kevin's in a brick house. So, good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. I'm Michelle Klassen, and I am Facebook Live on Soul Treats. Woo! It's a little rainy out here in Vancouver today. My hair's a little wet, but I don't care. I was out in the rain. I hope you guys are doing great. Thank you so much for being here. I see, hello, Becky. And Ane. Ane is in the house. Amazing tarot reader, Ane. Be sure to follow her. Good morning, Ada. Good morning, Carol. Thank you so much for being here. And for those of you who are continuing to pop on, thank you so much. And down below, I do have a PayPal link where you can turn in your open donation for some readings. And I wanted just to go over just a couple of things since we've got Kevin here. I'm just looking at my calendar. So Kevin is going to be doing a crystal kind of workshop with us. So on Saturday, the 21st, and that's at 1 p.m., we are doing an open donation, and Kevin's going to be talking about crystals. It's kind of a beginner's course. And then on Sunday, the 22nd at 1 o'clock at Pacific Standard Time, he's going to be doing an advanced course, and that course is 22. So be sure to sign up. Send me a message if you'd like to participate in that. Ane says she's driving. Oh, you're listening to us while you're driving. Fantastic. So yeah, jot those dates down. Be sure to attend because it's some really great information. And Kevin, you know, if I need any info for crystals or if I need to buy some, I need to go to Kevin. Kevin is where I like to buy my crystals because they are quite unique and his knowledge is pretty vast. I really enjoy it. My cat is going crazy by me right now. If she jumps on my chair,
throw it outside.
if she jumps on my chair, I might scream or if she scratches me. So just thought I'd warn you. So everybody, thank you again for being here. Thank you so much. Just so much gratitude and love for you all for the amazing support that you have for Soul Treats. I'm so glad that we can bring readers your way. So I'm going to pop off and we're going to dedicate this hour to everybody. And Kevin's going to introduce himself and go over how he does his reading. So I'll see you on the other side. Thank you.
All right. Hi. So I'm Kevin, as Michelle has already introduced me. I run the Rook and Raven. It's where I do readings and sell crystals and make wire wrap jewelry. I got back into that. But for today, I'm doing readings, and I have 3 different kinds of readings that I do. I do a traditional tarot reading. I offer a psychic oracle reading, and then an ascension reading. Now, the difference between them, like the traditional tarot, that's going to be for like for me at least, the way that I use those is for like your day-to-day kind of life. So if you have questions about like, you know, business or some kind of relationship or anything of that sort, you know, that would be the reading to get. And then the Oracle deck, that one is going to be more for more spiritual and energetic insight. It can give you insight into the physical life as well, but it's a little more detailed in that it can do physical, spiritual, and energetic. And then last but not least is the Ascension deck. Now, the Ascension deck, that one, as far as I know, I'm going to say that I might be extremely ignorant in like how many people actually do readings. But I'm the only person that I know of that does Ascension readings. And an Ascension reading, it's about your spiritual awakening, your Ascension journey, like your path to enlightenment, so to speak. That reading, that would be for someone that's newly awakened and you don't really have your bearings yet. You don't really know what the fuck to do. It's just like, oh, hey, now you're an awakened soul and you have all this shit kind of going on in like a non-physical realm, and it can be a little bit overwhelming. So a reading from that deck give you some direction and some insight as to like, okay, how do you really start to kind of narrow your scope a little bit? And then I also suggest that deck for people that are already awakened and have been doing, their meditations, they've been doing their learnings, they've been doing all the things they're supposed to do, and now you kind of feel stuck. I mean, it happens to like all of us, really. We keep growing spiritually, and then we kind of feel like we've hit a plateau or like a wall or whatever. And sometimes it can be something as simple as you missed one little detail somewhere, and the universe is like, nah, bitch, you got shit to do. So go back, redo this, and then, yeah. So that deck is only going to give you insight into your spiritual journey. It can give you insight into like what kinds of psychic gifts you may have, or that you may develop in time. So that's always fun. So yeah, those are the 3 readings I offer, and there you go. So pick your poison, so to speak. Now, as for me, like, why does Melissa keep bringing me back? I don't know. I guess she likes me, but or not Melissa. Sorry, I saw Melissa. Why does Michelle keep bringing me back? I read Melissa on like that comment. I'm not all here today. I don't think I've had enough caffeine. But yeah, Michelle keeps bringing me back. I guess I'm okay at it. I've been doing this for how many years now? Like 6, 7, 8? I don't know. Close to a decade, probably. But all right. So who is up first? We're doing O&A with a relationship reading.
Yep, that would be the one. And
Okay.
I'm getting a list going for you right now.
Sure.
And she pronounces her name Ane. Like,
Ane?
Yeah, what does she say? She says, like, when you go to the dentist and you have your mouth open, you're like, ah.
All right, I apologize for
right,
mispronouncing your name.
Okay.
I apologize for mispronouncing your name.
No, that's okay.
All right. All right, so we're going to do a relationship reading. Now, this might be a little bit difficult because you're driving. Unless, of course, you're not the one behind the wheel, which would be fine. Try to keep up with the comments. I know with Facebook, there's a bit of lag. So for those that are waiting for the readings, bear with me while I deal with the lag that Facebook gives us. Yep. It didn't fall out, so it's been a hot minute since I've used this deck, so I'm making sure the cards are fine. All right. I think we're good. All right, so this should be fun. Well, I like what I see so far. And for anybody that actually like does readings, you're probably like, he's pulling a whole fuckload of cards. Yes, I do pull a lot of cards. That's just like the way I've done it and gotten used to it. So yeah. So what about the relationship is that you're wanting like insight to? Like, you just want like an overall relationship reading? Okay. Well, that explains that. Sorry, like, okay, since you read cards, I don't have to explain too much to you. Sorry, like something was itching. So, to give insight into a new relationship, like obviously, like right now, it's kind of like the honeymoon phase, which, peace and harmony card coming up is fine. But okay. Overall, just like from this part of the reading, obviously you can't see it, but initially everything will be fine. Like things are going to be going pretty well, and it'll almost feel like how do I put it? It's almost like right off the bat, it kind of feels like, oh, hey, this is someone that I'm, possibly going to marry. Like that's actually crossed somebody's mind, at least one of you, if not both. And like I said, initially for the first, I'm going to say like, I don't know, 6 months, things will be going really well. But there will end up being a bit of a situation around money that it kind of throws a little monkey wrench in there to where there's going to be two possible outcomes. One is going to be like it just blows everything up. And the other, which I believe is the path that you'll actually end up choosing, is that the two of you will kind of work through it for the betterment of not only yourselves individually, but yourselves together. Because it ends up becoming a situation that just ends up bringing you closer together because you work through it. And because of that, it ends up kind of opening up new doors for you. Not just like on the relationship level, but together, like in each facet of your lives, like the good fortune aspects of it, to where it'll kind of feel like the universe is really smiling upon both of you, to where things go really well, to where it's almost like whatever you choose to manifest ends up coming true for you. And not only like, money wise, but in all other areas of your life. So things will just be clicking really well, but that only ends up happening if the two of you work through that. And like I said, it feels like it's about 6 months down the road. But up until then, it's really kind of a really, really long honeymoon phase, to where I don't see any like big fights. There may be like little petty bullshit thrown in there, but nothing crazy. And it just feels like it's going to be a really supportive relationship to where you make each other better, and it just ends up making each of you stronger on your own. And that's just like the immediate future. Looking even further down the road, it will be quite fun, actually. I mean, I'm looking at this and okay. Just even looking further down the road, um, there will be like obviously some ups and downs. Like every relationship has ups and downs. But there's gonna be one. I'm gonna say like April, May. It's just springtime of next year, where the relationship will hit like a bit of a snag to where it's like you might both be wondering if you've kind of wasted your time up to that point, but that's because neither one of you, like both of you, end up kind of focusing too much on like the little negatives and not focusing enough on how good you are for each other, and that you can actually end up being like really strong together. Because all the way up to like that point, you guys have been doing pretty well. Um, so yeah, it's just like a little less than a year from now, there should be a situation where it kind of feels like one of you wants it to go to the next level, like put a ring on it level, uh, and the other one is going to be kind of dragging their ass on it, um, and that person, and I can't really say which one it's going to be, but I do kind of feel like it's going to be him that kind of drags his feet, uh, not you. Well, maybe it's not a him. Like that card is kind of unclear, but the other person in the relationship is the one that's going to be kind of dragging their feet to where they kind of want to keep things the same. They don't quite see the point of making it more serious and like official, um, to where it will be more up to you to illuminate the possibilities, and like the reason behind doing it, and then they'll come around. Um, and it kind of ends up being after that, uh, then wedding bells are on the horizon after that. Uh, so yeah, I mean, aside from like 6 months from now, and then like another 6 months down the road after that, there'll be like two situations that a little bit of a hiccup, but for the most part, it's like a really good relationship. It's healthy. You're both supportive of each other, um, and bring out the best in each other, which is kind of nice. It's like sometimes I see through these relationship readings, and it's like, oh damn, like one of them's an asshole, the other one, yeah. But no, I do see like just good things. As long as you just stay supportive of one another, you're good to go. I mean, I really don't have much to say outside of that. Do you have like something specific, like other than, oh, hey, can I get a little insight into the new relationship? Is there like something specific that you might be hesitant about? And so since you do readings, the last card that I pulled to like get the final outcome, was the Lovers. So I mean, can't get much more relationshipy than that one. Okay. Well, you're a smart woman. You know what you got into. All right, so I'm going to pick these up since Ane doesn't have anything extra to add. So thanks for that. All right. Who would be next then? Ooh, somebody got blocked. I've really got to do this shit with music. I don't have like Michelle usually has like a little list scrolling at the bottom, so I know who's next.
Do you see the comment by chance, Ada Kelly?
I do see the
There you go.
comments. Yeah.
Okay,
but
I can scroll one if you want as well, but Ada Kelly's next.
Okay, and
I'll scroll one for you.
Okay. All right, so Ada, what kind of reading are we going to be doing for you? So see, Melanie said like dealer's choice.
She has on her comment spiritual guidance, please. Can you see the comment on the screen?
Oh yeah, like
okay,
I was looking over like in the live comment.
Live, okay.
So it looks like it'll be Ada, then Carol, and then Ivy. I think Melanie. Okay. All right. Spiritual guidance. Ada. Where's this deck? Well, okay, Ada, I'll ask you directly. Are you wanting to do the Ascension or Oracle? Like the Oracle can give you like insight to the spiritual and energetic lives. The Ascension deck, that is all about your like spiritual journey, which will be like straight up spiritual guidance. So which one would you prefer? Like Oracle or Ascension? Yeah, see that one. All right, Ascension. All right, that's what I kind of figured. All right, so the Ascension reading is a little different. One, I don't really shuffle them because I don't need to, and I'll explain why. Because what I end up doing is fanning them out, so there's really no need to shuffle. But part of the way I do this is I need permission from you, Ada, to connect with your energy and channel that because your energy is going to be using my hands to pick the cards. So, if you would be so kind as to give me permission to do that. And obviously, after the reading's over, the permission's done, but hopefully that goes without saying. All right. Okay, so before I flip these cards over, I will show you guys and gals uh, what they look like. These are nothing but text. There's like no artwork on these aside from like the design on the back. Um, the other thing for these, and I say this because there are some people that don't have a hugely open mind in the spiritual realms, but there are things in this deck that when I first got it, I was like, "What the fuck?" But after doing a little bit, I don't know, research, I guess, going to the astral realm and talking to people, um, I learned a few things. So there will be things in this deck that may come up that would might make you laugh, or be like, "What the fuck, Kev?" But they may not exist in the physical realm that we do, but they do exist in other realms, like in other dimensions. So just keep that in mind. All right, so this is done in like a 3-card spread with past, present, and future. Um, so obviously, I'll do these one at a time. And okay. Okay, so in the past position, you have Lord Maitreya. Now, he's kind of cool. He's actually kind of has a very serious air about him whenever you see him in the astral. But uh, he is a being of just like pure intention, like high level of integrity and honesty. And with this card coming up in your past position, it's telling you that you need to take a moment and kind of step back from all the bullshit of the world, all the things that might be causing you stress, and really just examine all aspects of your life. Um, and like in the spiritual sense, that's just like, kind of looking in on all the things that you do, um, and the way that you do them. Because with this one being the past position, it's really about making sure that you are an example for others. Um, what I mean by that is when you use your spiritual gifts, or your psychic gifts or anything of that sort, and you're doing things within the spiritual realm, whether it's doing a reading for someone or giving someone advice on how to handle something. Uh, he just wants to make sure that you are doing it with like the purest intentions. I mean, I hate to say it, but like in the spiritual community, there are a lot of charlatans. There's a lot of people that don't have the purest intentions or great levels of integrity, and they're just out to make a quick buck off of people. Um, Now, I'm not saying that is you. I'm not saying that at all. Um, I'm just saying that Lord Maitreya wants you to just take a step back and make sure that all the things that you're doing are being done the right way and with pure intention. Um, because sometimes, like, whenever people become an awakened soul, like, they tend to focus on themselves a little bit too much. And again, I'm not saying this is you. I'm just saying that this is one of the reasons that Maitreya tends to come up, is that when people are newly awakened, sometimes we get bad advice from people that maybe didn't know any better, and their intention was pure, but the information was tainted. So then that information gets passed on, and it's like not correct. Um, and the easiest way to make sure that you're doing things the right way is during sleep or meditation. Um, Ask your guides to connect you with him, and he will happily either come himself or send someone to help you examine things and look at things the way that he would look at them. And if you're not doing anything correctly, then they're not going to be like, hey, now you're going to be punished. It's like, okay, well, we know that you're doing it this way, but the better way to do it is this way. And it'll just be like a learning thing. And if you're doing everything right, then it's like, hey, you're doing great. So keep it up. And worst case scenario is they give you like some pointers on how to do things better. And there you go. And what that ends up doing, though, is like whenever you actually do connect with Maitreya, is that it helps give you insight into your current path and where you should be going. Because one of the things that a lot of us end up doing, and I'm guilty of it as well, is whenever we start on our ascension path, we're like, oh, I want to try this, I want to try this, I'm going to try this and this and this and this and this. And it's like we're trying so many things that we're not doing any of them really well. And talking to him and like connecting with him, he'll be like, hey, I mean, it's cool that you want to learn how to do that, but now's not the time. It's like, we need you to focus on these things so we can get you, further down the path. That's all that's about. Okay. Here's one of the ones that I was talking about. In your present position, you have dolphins. Like I said, keep an open mind. This was one of the ones that kind of fucked with me whenever I first saw it. I was like, what the hell? What are dolphins going to do anything? This isn't like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So dolphins, as we know them today, like on the physical realm, cute, whatever, really intelligent, very human-like. But dolphins in the spiritual sense are a lot different than you would imagine them. They do have a similar appearance in the astral realm, but they tend to have like a like a Caribbean color to them. Like their aura has like a Caribbean Ocean kind of look to them. So I guess aquamarine would be the color. It's really cool whenever you see them, though. Anyways, they're from Atlantis. Like, I'm not really sure how they conjured them up or whatever, but they did. Anyways, they are a way for us to connect with the golden age of Atlantis as well as Lemuria. So with them being in your present position, they are very much about relaxing and learning how to go with the flow of ascension instead of trying to bend it to your will and to what you think you should be doing. And this really goes along with like the Maitreya card in that he wants you to be doing things with the purest intentions and doing them correctly. And the Dolphin card has it to where, okay, these other things aren't what you need to be focusing on. So you need to kind of focus with where we're kind of guiding you. With that information, where you're just kind of like told to kind of kick back, relax, and go with the flow. What that really means for you currently is that whenever you do meditate or whenever you do go to sleep and you want to do anything for your ascension, just connect with your guides and tell them, hey, give them your intentions, and then the dolphins will help guide you to where it is you need to go. I'll give you a little bit more information on that with the future card, but the big thing is learning just how to more or less like trust the process. Because humans, we are very impatient. We like to think that we know better. And we like to do things our way, but the universe isn't like that. It gives us plenty of, freedom to roam and do things our way for a while, but eventually you have to stop trying to control so much and learn how to just roll with it. Yeah. Well, that's 100% what this is about then, Ada. To where stop trying to control your destiny and just roll with it. That's like the big thing. Once you're actually able to do that, because I do feel like you do have some trouble with that. Um, and I get it. It's really difficult to just let go completely because you're like, I kind of like to be in control a little bit, kind of like steer this car wherever it's going. Um, but when it comes to spiritual things, it's very much a thing where you kind of have to like just be a sponge, um, roll with it, and absorb whatever it is that gets thrown at you. So that's the present card. Now the past card, excuse me, I looked at the past cards. The past is Lord Maitreya, present is the Dolphins, future, oddly enough, is Mother Mary's aquamarine mantle. Um, now, I don't know if you know much about like artwork, as far as like depictions of the Holy Mother Mary, but she's always seen wearing like a blue, like an aquamarine colored. Uh, I guess I call it a shawl, but apparently the name of it is a mantle. Um, so that's kind of how all this connects for that. But it's funny that the aquamarine ties in with the dolphins with their aquamarine aura. Um, so with this one being in the future position, this is kind of a fun card to get, um, because the qualities that she embodied were compassion, empathy, kindness, healing, and above all, love. It's like unconditional love. And those are the qualities that you are going to be inspired to embody during your ascension journey. Um, and in doing so, you end up kind of spreading that good energy to all the people that you meet. Um, and it makes it a lot easier for people to, not only connect with you, but for you to connect with them, um, because it gives you like a very comforting energy, like a very compassionate, loving, and just a very gentle energy that people want to be drawn to, and that they want to be around because they kind of feed off of it, not like in a bad way to where like energy vampires do, but um, in the way that it helps them kind of release some of the negative shit that they're holding on to, because they're like, well, here's this woman that is just super awesome energy, and you know I want to feel that in myself. It's like I love feeling it from her, but I want to feel that in myself, so it helps them to let go of things and kind of move them and guide them the way that they need to go. So that's going to be this portion of your journey. That's not like the end all be all for you. It's just that you have some steps to get to that point. And I really do feel like the biggest thing is learning how to let go, stop trying to control your path, and just roll with it. Um, so, yeah, um, that's what your journey kind of consists of for now, is making sure you're doing things the right way. And if you're not, you'll get insight as to how to do it the right way. And once you are doing things correctly, um, then you'll probably have it'll be much easier for you to let go and actually just kind of go with the flow of the ascension energy, um, to where you then end up, with that energy of Mother Mary, to where you're a very calming presence, um, and it'll be it'll be nice. Um, I've been around people like that, and it just really, uh, I don't know. It's very homey, where you're just like, I'm good now. So it's good that when you do work with people that you use the veil, but um, you won't have to do that anymore. To where it just becomes like an innate thing with you, like that energy and those qualities of Mary will just become part of you, to where you don't have to like, okay, wait, let me put this on real quick while I'm doing this. And what it ends up doing for you is also affording you a high level of protection from things like attacking you and attaching to you, which is always a risk whenever you're doing like energetic work with others. I I've dealt with it, but yeah. So yeah, you won't have to like do that anymore. So it'll make things a lot easier for you. And so Ada, you good? Like if I need to touch on any of that again, let me know. Um, and leave the cards right there. Ba, 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 ba. I don't want to put these away yet unless she has. Okay, she's good. All right. Cool. All right. So I believe it is Carol that is up next then with an ascension reading as well. Orange. Okay. Let me fan these out. I wish I was like a Vegas dealer, could fan these out like super awesome, but I'm not, so I can't. Maybe I can learn. All right. And Carol, I assume that I have permission to connect with your energy then. All right, I see it. Cool. How the? Okay. Interesting. All right. So the whole reason I even said like how the is because one of the cards that I just pulled for Ada came up in yours, so I pulled another one um, to see how that is supposed to play out. So, all right. So in the past position, I love this name. Um, I've tried to get him to change it, but he won't. Anyways, this is Hilarion. I always crack up whenever I talk to him because it's close to hilarious, but whatever. Eventually, he'll probably whoop my ass for it. But in the meantime, we have fun with it. So, Hilarion in the pass position. Oh, fun. Okay, so Hilarion's all about new ideas, um, and those new ideas are in search of like truth and knowledge. And with him being in the past position, it's telling me that he's already planted a few seeds, um, but you haven't found them yet. Uh, what he likes to do is he'll visit people like while they are either sleeping or meditating, and like they're not at random. They're usually people that he knows like to seek out the truth and like about the universe, about life in general, and that want to gain as much knowledge as they can. So that means with the in the past position, it's telling me that he's already planted a few seeds along your ascension journey, to where you should have discovered them by now, um, but I don't think you have. Otherwise, he wouldn't pop up. Um, so what he does, like these seeds that he plants for us, it's usually to either activate psychic gifts, which help us to connect to higher channels. Some people gain a clair ability, whether it's like clairaudient, clairvoyant, clairsentient, uh, whenever they stumble upon one of his seeds. And what it does is it just kind of gives you like a little taste of what you can do. And then it's like, okay, well, how do I do that again? And that's where it's like you go on that search to gain the knowledge of how to do it, at will. But like I said, because he's in the past position, it feels like he's getting a little impatient. And the guidance here is very, very simple. You don't have to do a meditation. This is just like sit quietly and ask, like in your mind or out loud if it helps. But however you choose to do it, just ask for his help. Like, hey, Hilarion, what is it that you are trying to guide me to? And what he'll do is like kind of point you in the direction or like grab you by the hand and be like, this is what I've been trying to fucking show you. And just get you to that little seed that he planted to where it's like, oh, okay, that's what. And once you find the first one, it becomes a lot easier. It's kind of like Easter egg hunts. You find that first one, like then you become trained to like spot them more easily. Same thing here. It's like once you kind of like find the first little seed that he planted, it becomes a lot easier to find the others. There's no telling how many he plants along your path. Sometimes it's a couple, sometimes it's like 40. It all depends upon the person. But yeah, the biggest thing is just to sit quietly, whether you want to do it in meditation or not. Just sit quietly and ask to be shown what it is that he wants you to learn. or wants you to know. And one way or another, it will come to you. I know whenever I did it, it was very quick. I don't know, like in Astral, I just pieced off to somewhere and hadn't been there before. And like, oh, okay. So it'll be different for each person, whatever they're most capable of handling. So it might be a thing where you ask for it and then you go to sleep that night and wake up and you're like, I had a dream about this, and then you look into it and that's what you're supposed to be learning. So that's what Hilarion all about. Now, the next card, this one is Paul the Venetian. Now, Paul is okay. So he's a fun guy. Like if you were to picture like the most artistic person you can think of, someone that can like draw and paint whatever, they can sculpt whatever, they can sing whatever, they can write whatever, that would be Paul. Like he's just full of creativity, and he helps others learn how to express themselves, like spiritually speaking, because one of the things, like I guess true artists understand this, but some people don't quite get it because they don't think that way. But whenever someone sits down to paint or write, or they make music or do any kind of like artistic type expression, they're kind of connecting with part of their soul that just needs to release that. And some people have trouble with that. Like I can't draw for shit. I can picture a lot of awesome things in my head, but don't expect me to draw them. And what Paul in the present position does is he wants you to, if you haven't found it already, wants you to discover your outlet for getting that artistic and creative energy out, because it does serve a purpose on the spiritual sense. One, that energy kind of stays in whatever it is you create, and when someone is drawn to, a poem or a piece of art or a song, the energy, like the artistic, spiritual energy of it, is drawing them in and it's connecting with them for a reason, and it helps them to then kind of open up and feel a little more spiritual, I guess. So that's what he's about. He's all about like getting that kind of stuff out so that others can connect with it. And what it ends up doing for you is, as you get that artistic side out more, it makes it easier for you. And whenever you have that kind of creative energy, that artistic energy that's just easily flowing, what that does is it opens up a lot of things for you, especially in the spiritual realm, because in order to access and even see some of these things like in the astral realm, you have to have like that kind of vision to actually see it, because it does require a bit of like an artistic eye to see it, to understand that it's there. It's kind of like a third sight almost. I know like people talk about second sight, and obviously the first sight is the physical. Second sight is like kind of clairvoyant type stuff, but this would almost be like a third sight that you only really use in the astral realm. The spiritual purpose behind this, like the biggest spiritual purpose, is when you develop this energy within yourself, you are then able to manifest things more easily. So the things that you can envision in your mind's eye, you can then make them come true in the physical realm. So that's what that's all about. Paul the Venetian being in the present position, that's what that's about. And oddly enough, that might be tied into Hilarion, where he's like, hey, this is like something I need you to learn how to do so that, Paul can kind of help you out better. So that's definitely how they're going together. And now I see why the Dolphins card came out. Okay. So earlier I said, what the fuck? Because the Dolphins card came out for your future position. And I was like, hang on. So I grabbed another one and now I kind of understand why the Dolphins came out, but the Sphinx is here as well. So we'll do both of them. So the Dolphins, as you probably remember from Ada's, is that it's all about letting go, not trying to control anything, and just let the ascension energy flow and roll with it, which really ties into Paul the Venetian, where that artistic energy kind of comes out that does need flow. You can't control it, you just kind of let it flow. So that's why the Dolphins came out. So that's that part of it. The Sphinx is a little bit different. This one makes sense. As I'm reading it, I'm like piecing it together. Y'all really need to learn how to relax. Sorry. So the Dolphins card is all about like relaxing, going with the flow, and then the Sphinx on here is like, hey, you need to relax and accept things. But the two of these together make a little bit more sense. So one of the other aspects of like the Dolphin card is that they help us access the wisdom of the golden age of Atlantis and Lemuria. And in order to do so, you have to learn how to go with the flow of the ascension energy in order to connect with it properly. Sphinx has a different connection that you also have to relax and go with the flow in order to connect with it. But this one, it has the information of Hollow Earth as well as the information in the crystal skulls. So the crystal skulls, I have to like kind of explain that. A lot of people don't know a lot about them. So way back when, like each, I guess, tribe of humans, not even really humans, each tribe of beings, is like a better term. Each tribe of beings that were on Earth, like, had a crystal skull that contained all the information that they, like, any of them have ever learned, and like their entire history, and that's all like in each of the crystal skulls. The Sphinx kind of keeps watch over it to make sure that nobody accesses it with ill intent. But with Hilarion and Paul the Venetian and the Dolphins, along with the Sphinx, this is all about being able to connect with a very, very vast amount of ancestral knowledge that can help you along your journey. Because the tribes of our ancestors, they coexisted peacefully. There wasn't any like fighting, there wasn't any warring, there wasn't anything of that sort. Like they all coexisted peacefully. And that's like part of the information that's contained within the skulls. And then for the Golden Age of Atlantis and Lemuria, that has a whole lot of information in it as well. So your future cards are all about being able to tap into motherfucker. Okay. Sorry, I get little moments. Being able to tap into like that ancestral knowledge is integral into your ascension journey, but you won't be able to do that unless you learn how to tap into the artistic side and your expressive side, because in order to do that, you have to learn how to do it from Hilarion. So he's going to teach you how to do it. Paul's going to get you really into the groove. And then once you learn how to actually relax and kind of go with it, that's when you'll be able to tap into the. Okay, that makes sense. I got it now. Okay, so you got all of that. I didn't finish the sentences, but I'm pretty certain that you understand. Like all of these together are about learning. Hilarion will teach you whatever it is that he's got in mind for you, but I really do feel like it is going to teach you how to connect with Paul, because that takes a bit of like psychic ability to do so. Once you're able to connect with Paul, then Paul's going to help you tap into your creative and expressive side that helps you learn how to relax and really just kind of go with things. The dolphins also will kind of support that, but their main purpose is going to be teaching you how to connect with the knowledge and wisdom of Atlantis and Lemuria. You can only do that if you are able to kind of chill out and just go with the flow. Flip side of that is going to be the Sphinx, where you then get to tap into the information and wisdom of Hollow Earth as well as the crystal skulls. So there's going to be a shit ton of information at your fingertips, which will help you along your life path as well as your ascension path. So, yeah. And it all starts with sitting down and shutting up. Like, sit down quietly and ask Hilarion to show you whatever it is he needed to show you. So, there you go, Carol. You got a little bit of a journey ahead of you, but it'll be fun. Oh yeah, Hilarion, you got it almost correct. It is Hilarion. I have little epiphany moments where it's like I'm reading the cards individually and then I put it all together and it clicks. I'm like, oh. All right. Okay, Carol, that was a fun one. Okay. So Ivy is next. Okay. So Ivy, for your spiritual guidance, are you wanting to do an ascension reading or do you want to use the Oracle deck? Kind of feel like ascension reading is the popular choice today, which is fine with me. I love doing those. I'm always excited to see where people end up on their spiritual journeys. Lord knows Michelle got enough readings for me. I was able to kind of keep track with her whole journey. I'm just waiting for Ivy to let me know if she's doing Oracle or Ascension. Pretty certain I know the answer, but always like to make sure. Wait, is she still here?
It's highly possible that she may not be here because I know she's kind of comes in and out of readings because she's busy. But
Okay.
I'm pretty sure she's open to you doing an ascension reading for her.
Okay.
And tapping
Before I
into
do
her
that.
energy. Yeah. If she wasn't, she wouldn't be here. But let's do that for Ivy because I always know that she's always very curious where she's at.
Okay. So I guess do the timestamp at like 1:13 for hers.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Do. Oh, I like her energy. All right. Haven't seen that one in a minute. Okay, so past position, we have Commander Ashtar. I was wondering about that. Okay, so Ivy, for your reading, we have Commander Ashtar in the past position. So Ashtar, like, I won't get into like all the specifics of the things that he does. Just suffice to say that he's kind of like one of the big protectors of everyone in the universe. And his connection on Earth is Machu Picchu, which is that Peru? I think it's in Peru. I know it's in South America. I can picture it in my head, but I can't tell you what fucking country it's in. Anyways, that's like his portal to here. And the reason it's coming up in your past position is that you have an open invitation to connect with him and see all of the things, like the planets, the stars, all of it, the way that he does, like from his point of view. And I know it kind of sounds like a little weak. It's like, okay, so I get to go in space. But he sees things way differently than we do. Um, and he sees things in a way that he can see how all of the things interconnect, and how something happening, another galaxy away affects things here. And you kind of gain like a little bit of insight as to how that works. And with that, it kind of levels up your consciousness, because you can see things from a completely different perspective than most of the rest of us. Uh, and what it also ends up doing is it really kind of levels up your chakra system. Now, most people, this is gonna be a little bit of information for everybody. Most people know about like the 7 main chakras. So you have what? Root, sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, and crown. But there are some other ones that people don't know about, like your Earth star, which is actually about 3 feet below your feet at any given time. And the one that really kind of, I don't know, lights up a lot whenever you are with him, or seeing things the way he does, is your higher crown. Sometimes called the soul star chakra, because that connects you to all of the planes, not just like the higher planes, but it connects you to all of them, and kind of connects you to the whole universe, which is what he's kind of in charge of, well, protecting it at least. So this is like a really cool card to actually get. Like, I don't think I've seen that one before. Actually, like all the readings that I've done, I don't think I've ever seen that one. So yeah, well, hey, you got a card that I hadn't seen before. So yeah, with it in your past position, you may not have been aware of the open invitation, but hey, now you are. And it's really easy. If you want to accept the invitation, all you have to do is during meditation, or just sitting quietly, say that you want to connect with Commander Ashtar, and it'll happen. If you do it right before bed, you usually end up connecting with him while you're asleep, because it's easier for us to astral travel sleeping, because we don't have our conscious mind getting in the way of fucking shit up. But if you're able to astral at will, then you can kind of do it during meditation and be fine. So you get to kind of bebop around the universe for a bit and see how things interconnect. So after that little road trip, you then have the gold and silver violet flame, which, if you want to picture it, picture like a purple or violet fire that has like faint ribbons of silver and gold kind of around it. That's like the easiest way for me to like describe it. So the violet flame is the flame of transmutation. What that means is changing one thing into another. Usually it's about like changing low vibe, negative energies into either neutral or positive ones. So that's what the violet part is about. The gold, that is wisdom, and silver is harmony. Well, grace, harmony. So then you get the gold and silver violet flame. And this one, it's kind of fun to have in your present position, because whenever you connect with this, like, you'll have to connect with 2 people in particular. I say people because that's just the easiest way to say it, but Archangel Zadkiel, that's Zadkiel, and Saint Germain, Germain. Those are the 2 that you'll end up connecting with, and they'll instruct you on how to use it correctly. But whatever you do, end up using it, it more or less like clears all the bullshit from your ascension path and lights the way for you to make it much easier for you. Because it helps keep your energy, your light, clean clear and pure. But you can use it once you have access to it, which you will get it. Whenever you need to call upon it to use it for others, you can help other people like in various situations. Like if they happen to have like some negative entities around them, you can use the gold and silver violet flame to clear that shit out. If people have like portals in their house, you can use it to clear those out. So it is really helpful if you do any kind of energetic work. But if you don't, then you probably will end up using it for others. And using it for yourself, it's really just about clearing your ascension path and making sure that it is as easy as possible for you. Which brings me to your future card, which is another card that I have not seen yet. It's Pallas, Pallas, Athena. So this one, I need to read over it for a moment. All right, well, maybe that makes sense. Okay, so I guess that's why you need to have like a clear ascension path. So Pallas Athena is the goddess of truth and wisdom. She's a lord of karma, holds the sword of truth to show humanity the way. And having her in your future position means that you will kind of be, I'm not going to say a disciple of hers, but just be more or less like a human representation of her, in so much as by being able to clear all the negative shit from your ascension path to get to this point, it will make it easier for you to embody the things that she's all about with the truth and wisdom. The guidance here is just to follow her example, which is to see the higher perspective in any situation, especially areas of conflict. Our human side tends to go for the low road, but Athena would want you to take the higher road, and because you'll be able to, well, all right, that all makes sense now. Because Ashtar will end up showing you how things interconnect, and with Zachiel and Saint Germain making like clearing all the bullshit from your ascension journey to get to this point with Athena, you'll be able to much more easily see the higher perspective, because you can see how all the things interconnect thanks to Ashtar, and without any of the negative bullshit getting in the way, like our human tendencies to take the low road, which the gold and silver violet flame take care of. It makes it easier for you to see in all areas of conflict the higher road. And as you like learn from all of these people, you end up gaining like an abundance of wisdom, and like a tactical mind in a sense, to where you're able to easily communicate with anybody involved, like what the best outcome would be and how to get there. So yeah, it's going to be fun. Like the whole purpose of these three cards, it's just one, you gain like that intergalactic type of vision to where, or perspective, to where you learn and understand and see how all things interconnect. And with gold and silver violet flame, taking care of all the low vibe stuff, it keeps you at like a higher level, which then Athena can like connect with you and be like, hey, these are like the things I want to teach you. And it makes it much easier for you to convey that to others as well, to where you'll be able to see the oh wait, hang on, you're here. Yeah. Well, that's good. So you have like some little tests to get you there, but with Athena on your side, it will be not only things like in the day-to-day life, but it will be things like in the astral realm as well. So like spiritual situations that require a different kind of insight, which you get from Ashtar. So yeah, you're going to be a person of, how do I say this? You'll be someone that people seek out for fairness. Like, I don't want to say justice because that denotes like something different for humans, but just like a fair outcome, a fair resolution, uh, greater insight into various situations. Um, so yeah, that's going to be your ascension journey. That's not the end of it. You're just working your way to that point. And since you just tapped in, I'll go ahead and tell you, like for Ashtar, that was the card in your past position. You have an open invite to connect with him, and he'll take you wherever he needs to take you and show you what he needs to show you. And you can do that during meditation or do it before you go to sleep, whatever's easiest for you. Michelle was saying you're a pretty busy person, so I'd imagine if you tell your guides you want to connect with Commander Ashtar before you go to sleep, then you'll be able to do it in your sleep, and you'll actually be able to remember all the things that you learned. So there you go. Did I skip anything? Are you good? Cool. And since you're here, if you want to go back and like hear it from the beginning, if you go to like the 1 hour and 13-minute mark in the video after Michelle posts it, you can start it there. It's only like 16 minutes, but you'll get all the information. And thanks for letting me do your readings. That's to everybody. Thanks for letting me do your readings today. Okay, so is Melanie still here?
Yes, so for Melanie, she's got on there that comment I just posted, dealer's choice.
That's always fun. But I was going to see if she's still here. All right. So if you want dealer's choice, let me see which deck calls out the most. Well, it is the Oracle deck that is kind of yelling at me. So do you want just like a general reading? Because with the Oracle deck, you get insight into you can get insight into your physical life as well as spiritual and energetic. So I'm going to use this deck. Then do you want just like a general reading and the universe can tell you what it needs to tell you? Or do you have like a specific area in mind? All right, chip. All right. So, if I'm just going to do a general reading for you with this deck, well, let's dive right in. First things first is that you need to do a little bit of reflection, inflection, I guess you would say. And the reason for that is you have a bit of a blockage with your crown chakra that is preventing you from one, connecting properly, and two, it's kind of giving you like, I don't know, like a mental fog to where it kind of feels like you're a little bit frustrated. Um, I do see that good things are on the way, but we have a little bit of a journey to get there. Um, so let me ask you something. There's a card here that shows you have, I don't know, an idea for something um, that should do well. I'm just curious as to if you have any idea what that would be. Like, okay, so like sacral chakra is the card that's showing me that it's some kind of creative idea, um, or an idea in general. Because your sacral chakra is where your ideas come from, not your brain, because sacral is all about creation, as well as procreation. But that's where like your creative energies kind of come from, and with that being like in your immediate future, and the card right on top of that is prosperity begins. So okay. Um, okay. So the other idea, is it one that you're a little bit more passionate about than the interior design? Because the interior design thing can be part of the sacral thing as well, because that requires creative energies. Um, I'm just wondering if okay. Okay. Well, then that kind of makes sense on all of this. Um, so I know like one of the reasons that like one of the subconscious reasons for starting the new business. And the other one that you haven't shared with anybody is more or less to like kind of take power over your life, and like your career. So I can go ahead and tell you that the both of those ideas should do well for you, regardless of which one you devote more time to, or if you split your time equally. Like both of them should do well. Um, so you're good there. Um, I will say though that once you kind of really dive into both of these, um, you will have some challenges in the beginning, um, which should okay. The challenge is going to come from like a place of authority. Uh, so it might be like some kind of official bullshit. It's just like little hurdles that you have to jump over, to I don't know. I just know when it comes to like business stuff that it's always some bullshit, red tape, hoop, whatever that you have to jump through. Um, but you'll be fine. It's just more irritating and annoying than anything. So nothing to really worry too much about. It's just that it might be a bunch of little ones that start to kind of weigh on you. Um, but the guidance is that you just need to trust your intuition, um, because you already seem pretty grounded. Like you have pretty level head on your shoulders and have a clear idea of where it is you want to go. Um, and as long as you don't like let this little bullshit, like trivial stuff, kind of trip you up and get you jumbled to where it's like you lose sight of that, you should be fine. Just trust your intuition, the plan that you have, like the idea that you had whenever you started it, um, because you should be fine. Like I said, like it shows prosperity begins, but you will end up having to do a little bit of personal sacrifice. What I mean by that is for the short term, it's not like permanent. Just until like the rough patch, like the rough beginning kind of sorts itself out, you'll have to sacrifice some of like your personal self, whether that's like less time for the things you really enjoy outside of your career, um, but you'll just have to sacrifice things of the personal nature that you really enjoy, obviously. But again, that will just be temporary. It won't be something that's going to stay that way forever, because what ends up happening is the universe recognizes that you're doing all of this, and it gives you a bit of good news to where you kind of turn the corner, um, and you see the light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak, and you really feel like things are changing, things are getting better, and they are. They'll end up becoming a very triumphant success for you. And I will go ahead and tell you that won't happen until January of next year. Um, so you do have like, I'm not gonna say it's like super rough. It's just taxing. Like it's gonna wear you down for the rest of the year. Um, but like I said, come January, there will be some good news to where you know everything really just starts to transform for the better for you. And it kind of renews that hope for you, and you'll get that feeling of finally making it and being successful. You just kind of have to stick with it until then. So I guess that's the biggest thing that the universe is throwing out there. It's like this. these new paths that you are going down. You just got to stick with it and don't get bogged down with all the little petty bullshit. All right. Are you good with that? Okay. Alrighty then. I'm gonna pick these up. Believe. All right. Thank you. I believe Cindy is next. Thank you, Melanie. And I look forward to your success in the coming months, as I'm sure you do as well. All right. So Cindy would like to get an Ascension reading. Let me just put these cards away. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. All right, Cindy, do I have your permission to connect? All right, cool. Thank you. One, two. Interesting. Haven't seen that card ever, and then it comes up in 2 different readings today. Okay, I understand that one. Okay. Okay. I see how all these go together. Okay, so sorry. I'm constantly evolving when it comes to these readings. Usually I just like focus on one at a time, but given today where like I have those little epiphany moments where it all clicks when I'm like on the future card, doing yours a little bit differently. I'm gonna go over each one and then connect them all for you. So the past position card, you have Archangel Metatron's Retreat. This one is a fun card because this is an invitation to visit Metatron's Retreat in your sleep. This is not something you do in meditation. This is not something you do while you're awake. simply because it requires astral travel. And some people can do it while they're awake, but for you, the invitation is to do it while you're asleep. I'll go and tell you that all you have to do is tell your guides before you go to sleep, or just put your intention out into the universe by saying it out loud, that you want to connect with Metatron tonight, and then when you go to sleep, off you go. So, what is at his retreat? His retreat is full of all kinds of fun stuff, but the biggest thing about that one is it is the Temple of Luxor, um, in the astral Egypt, and it is the universal throat chakra of the planet Earth and all of the beings on it. And if you know anything about the throat chakra, it's all about communication and truth. And whenever you go visit Metatron's retreat, he's going to just be giving you all kinds of information that you can use for your ascension. And it's mainly to gain insight as to how to help others communicate better, and also to be a lot more honest, which I think we can all use in this world. But yeah, he has a lot of things that he goes over whenever you go visit him. So you may have to go visit more than once. But I would suggest, if you have trouble remembering your dreams whenever you wake up, that you have like pen and paper, and you just like jot down the things you do remember, and you can come back to it later. Even if it doesn't make any fucking sense to you when you write it down, it may click whenever you go back and read it and like, oh yeah. So that's the big thing for the past position card. And like I said, I'll tie all of this together at the end of it. The next card is a card that I hadn't seen before today, and now I've seen it again, with Pallas Athena. And with her in the present position, this is strictly about following her example of being like a beacon of truth and fairness. So what you all right, but yes, her thing for present position is to follow her example in being a, like I said, a beacon of truth and fairness, and using the sword of truth to guide humanity. I kind of feel like I'm breezing through these, but there's a purpose. I will connect them all. In the future position, you have Sirius, not Harry Potter's uncle, but the star system of Sirius, and that's in the future position, and it holds the 12 universal keys to enlightenment and ascension. This card is an invitation. It's another sleep invitation. You can go visit the training schools and universities of Sirius in your sleep. And what that allows you to do is develop your higher mind, access spiritual laws of alchemy, be able to understand sacred geometry, and tune into the higher dimensions much more easily. And the reason all of these kind of go together, this is where I'm going to go a little bit more in depth into things. So at Metatron's retreat, it's all about communication, right? Learning how to communicate with a wide variety of people and sentient beings, and sharing the wisdom that you gain through those channels. So what he teaches you is to kind of go above like this kind of one-on-one, or just like talking and teaching things, communicating that way. He teaches you another way to do it, which reaches a wider audience and like is much more effective. Um, I'll let him explain that to you. And the reason you need to learn how to do that is because with Athena being the sword of truth to help guide humanity, in order to communicate that message to more people, you have to know how to do it, and that's what Metatron's retreat is for. And with Sirius, it's about learning how to tap into higher dimensions, as well as using sacred geometry and understanding it. And sacred geometry is something that Metatron is really good with, because there's like Metatron's cube, which is a sacred geometric shape. So all of this kind of ties together in that the stuff that you're going to learn is simply to know how to communicate truth, wisdom, and other knowledge to a whole wide variety of sentient beings, not only in the physical realm that we're in now, which is like 3D, but 4, 5, 6, all the way up through 12. And that's just like in this universe. If you want to get into the whole multiverse thing, then you are going to have to know how to do that as well. And that's something you would learn at Metatron's retreat. So the end all be all of this portion of your ascension journey is learning how to communicate to a much wider audience than we can do in the physical way that we do now. And that's knowledge that you will use to help Athena in using the sword of truth to guide humanity, which, like I said, I think we can all agree we kind of need some of that. And the stuff that you learn at Sirius will further allow you to spread that information and connect with other beings in the higher dimensions. But you also, it's with the schools of Sirius, you're going to learn a lot of stuff. But the most important is going to be how to communicate and connect with like the higher dimension beings, because they're oddly enough part of humanity as well. So there's a whole lot that kind of goes into it. But yeah, Cindy, that's where you are at or where you're going to get. But it all starts with you putting it out into the universe that you want to connect with Metatron and go to his retreat. And from there, it's off to the races. So Metatron, it's Metatron. And then Pallas Athena is Pallas. Space Athena, Athena. And Sirius is Sirius. This should be a really interesting journey for you because not too many people get that combination of cards. Usually people get like Metatron's Retreat to like learn a couple of things, but I kind of feel like the stuff that you're going to end up learning is kind of important. So and so Cindy, you got all that? All right. So all right. Well, enjoy your journey. You're gonna be learning a whole lot of shit. And it's gonna be fun. And here we thought we were done with school and learning. All right, so Michelle, I know I have a standing invitation to connect to your energy for these readings. All right, let me see how all these go together. Well, all right then. All right, so Michelle. So the first card that comes up for you is the Sphinx, which we've already seen today. But being that it's in your past position, this is an invitation for you, which I believe is long-standing. This one's just for you to connect with the fifth dimension, where there are some records for Earth, the crystal skulls, which I explained earlier. And you can also visit Hollow Earth, where you should find a portal to the ascended version of Mars, which will have a whole other aspect of information for you to learn. But that's what this one is for. It's just straight up, you have access now to a lot more information than you probably did before. So just go over that again. You can do this meditation or sleep, but just connect with the Sphinx. You can picture it in your head if you want to, and that's where you'll go. But in between its front paws, there should be a door or doorway. That's where you can enter, and you should be taken to like the fifth dimension through there, where you'll then be able to access the information from the crystal skulls. And whenever you get the information from the crystal skulls, then you'll learn where the portal is to Ascended Mars. I don't know what information you'll learn in Ascended Mars. I do know that it is quite peaceful, and it is somewhere that you can actually connect with all of the universe at once, which is kind of interesting. But that's that card, and that's in the past position. The present card is the Sun. Now, this one is very interesting in that the Sun is like the physical manifestation of divine masculine. which is all about decisiveness, taking action, rational thinking. And with that being in the present position, that's just the universe saying, hey, whenever you go learn all this information, you need to be able to use it quickly and effectively. So don't be on the fence about anything like, oh, should I do this? Should I not? The universe will want you to be very decisive in your actions and your thoughts. Because if you end up being like wishy-washy, then you kind of lose the message. But if you're very quick with it and understand what it is you need to do and just do it, what that ends up doing is anybody that is involved in whatever situation you kind of dive into with that information, they end up gaining some wisdom from it, as well as anybody involved kind of gets. It's almost like everybody's a plant and the sun is lighting everybody up, to where they just get a renewed energy, kind of like it's almost like, I don't know, taking like a shot of adrenaline almost, just like in a spiritual sense, to where they get not from you, they get filled with that, decisive energy, that logical energy, to where it's like, oh, hey, they get that drive to get things done, and stop kind of sitting on the fence, which a lot of people tend to do. It's like, oh, well, I might do this, I might do that. But this is strictly about absorbing that energy for yourself and sharing it with others, because as you interact with others, then that energy connects to them as well. And that's how that works out. The future card is nature. And this one, oddly enough, in your future position, is for you to chill the fuck out. It's just like a little reminder to take a break every now and then. Go enjoy the beauty of nature, because you and I both have a tendency to go when it comes to like the spiritual stuff, and we don't know what it is to take a break, unless we're forced to, which we both have been. But the nature card coming up here, it's really just take some time periodically to go out into nature, enjoy it, connect with it, bask in the beauty of it. Because what it will do is, as you spend some time in nature, you end up kind of recharging your batteries, because as we ground with the earth and we just immerse ourselves in all that is natural in the world, it re-energizes us, because all the stress and shit that we put on ourselves as humans just kind of goes through us. The earth takes it, changes it in positive energy, and like sends it back to us, in good ways. And it helps, like I said, to recharge. It helps to keep you balanced, and it also gives you a lot of healing energy that you may not even know that you need. But yeah, so those are the three cards. Now, the way this all works together. So all the information and everything that you learn from the fifth dimension, from the crystal skulls, from Ascended Mars, all of that information, it's going to put a drive into you to be like, okay, cool. I have this information now. I need to use it. And the sun card, the energy that comes with that, it will be that decisive energy that helps you to, like, okay, well, logically think, okay, I learned this, and this is how I can use it to help others and share that information along. And that's how those two go together. And that's it for those. Those two, hand in hand, yep, that works. The future card by itself is a reminder to not only do just those first two. Like I said, it's a reminder to, hey, stop and smell the roses from time to time, like literally, because now's the time to do it. But yeah, in short, you have some more learning to do, some more knowledge to gain, that you can then share with others. And you'll actually very quickly understand how it is you're supposed to use that information. And yeah, the universe did throw the nature card in there to remind you to chill the fuck out from time to time, like spiritually speaking, by going out in nature. All right, so you good, Michelle?
I'm good. I've heard this message, the nature one, chilling out, taking a break. In the last 2 weeks, you were the second person. So, okay, I get it.
Well, that's the
I get it.
universe.
I know, right? They're like, hello, hello.
Oh, you didn't listen the first time, Michelle. So we're going to have Kevin tell you again.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Another masculine is telling me. First one was masculine, second one's masculine.
Well, that's the
Okay.
sun energy.
Yep.
Yep.
So I just wanted to let everybody know, in case they're not aware, that tonight is a really powerful night. There's a total lunar eclipse that is happening. And I've had a vision of this already, and I kind of drew this out. But there's a lot of power that's going to be happening with this moon and the energy. So I did post on my Facebook page the timing of it. So 50% partial is at 10:59 Eastern Standard Time. Totality begins at 11:29 Eastern Standard Time. And the full eclipse, which they call the greatest eclipse, is at 12:11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then totality ends at, itchy nose, at 12:54. And then it goes back to partial again at 1:23. So
now, Michelle,
yes.
Do you happen to know any of the astrological information on that? Not the astronomy information, but the astrological, like what house or what sign any of that is in?
I believe this is in Scorpio.
Okay, cool.
I'd have to look it up to be 100%.
Okay, but anybody out there, like, this would be like a bit of free advanced crystal information. Do not put your crystals out tonight. Do not. I know a lot of people like to charge their crystals like in the full moon. If you do it, do it before the eclipse. So keep in mind the times before it even starts. Like, pull them in, and if you really want to, you can put them back out. But a lot of people don't take into consideration or into account like the energy of a full moon. It really depends upon like what house it's in, what sign it's in. Like, that definitely affects the energy that goes into your crystals. So I know a lot of people love to just throw their crystals out in the full moon and charge them up. But a lot of people fuck up when they do that. So yeah, tonight, being that the full moon is in Scorpio, I would not suggest putting your crystals out tonight.
Yeah, I think it is. I'd have to definitely look it up. I'm feeling this is just a huge opportunity for people to sit in meditation and take on the energy of this solar eclipse. And hey, Matthew, thanks for being here. Matthew says, perfect, 12:11. I'm healing this issue tonight. Okay. Yeah, it's definitely 12:11, Matthew, for sure. It's showing up. So definitely sit with this energy. It's quite strong. And like I said, I already had a vision about it a few days ago, and they showed me the meditation and the connection to the moon. So definitely, if you can, do that. And I want to thank everybody for being here. And then just a reminder, Saturday, the 21st, Sherry Collins will be live doing readings. And then after that at 1 o'clock, Kevin will be back doing a beginner's course on crystals. And this is open donation. So take advantage of this because Kevin has a lot of knowledge on crystals, like a lot. And Kevin, when do you do your auctions? I noticed you started doing those again. Well, not
Well,
really
I don't do
auctions, but
yeah, I just do like live sales periodically. I try to do it like on the Rook and Raven page, um, but I kind of went overboard on the cabochons. Um, so I have like a shit ton of cabochons. So I'm going to be doing a lot of wire wrapping, but I do have a lot of cabochons. I did get some towers and other stuff in, um, but I try to go live after I get like a new shipment in, which is usually about like every other week.
every other week.
Um,
Okay.
and I just did one last week, so I should have another shipment coming in soon, like this week, and they'll have new items to put out on the board.
Okay.
Um,
Be
so, yeah.
sure to watch that. Be sure to follow his Facebook page. I do have his website that's been scrolling down below. So
Mhm.
again, Saturday the 21st at 1 o'clock Pacific Daylight Time. It's open donation for the beginners crystal course. And then on Sunday, the following day at 1 o'clock, that'll be the advanced crystals course, and that one is $22. So connect with me on Facebook, send me a messenger on how to get started on that, and that'll be great. And I'm hoping to have Kevin back again in June. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
And again, thank you so much, everybody, for being here, the support on the page, and also supporting Kevin with his readings. I really appreciate it because, 100% of the donations go straight to the readers. So thank you so much, everybody, for being here. And any last words for you, Kevin?
No, I just hope to see some of y'all like in the crystal course next weekend. So
Yeah, for sure. All right, everybody.
all right.
Have a great
Bye.
weekend. I love you. Bye.